BeamNG isn't Trackmania, it's a serious driving sim with serious drivers, so naturally I made a giant bobsleigh track. Now let's see what the speedrunners can actually do with it.
I trade the idea. Flip.
Can they survive the bobsleigh at full speed?
There's a gap.
Can they crush every medal set for them? Or will it completely break them?
Please, please be it. Please, please, please.
So how exactly does a bobsleigh track work in a game like BeamNG? Let me show you, but heads up, this map is made for full speed, which means one thing. Never take your foot off the gas. The track has snow, ice, asphalt and a ton of transitions. You can split the map into three main parts: the start, the snowy section and the ending. The map kicks off simple. You are on asphalt and you can enter the first bobsleigh at pretty much any angle. But ice is tricky. Control basically vanishes, so a perfect entrance is absolutely mandatory. The key is aiming for the far right corner of the asphalt. You want a quick, smooth transition into the bobsleigh section. Going too far left almost guarantees sliding up the wall, while too far right means losing a ton of speed. This cornerstone transition sets the pace for the entire run. Mastering it is essential for a great time. Inside the bobsleigh, it's all about sticking close to the lines or just slightly above them, making only small adjustments. Hard turns lead to a complete loss of control. After the bobsleigh, there is a tougher transition where you must swing up on the ice wall just right to line up a perfect exit. This move gives a huge speed boost and helps the car get better grip for the next section. Then comes a quick transition, almost identical to the first one. Next up is the ice gap. This is usually the first big hurdle for anyone new to the ice driving. It's similar to the exit from the first bobsleigh, except here, instead of going down, you have to go up. After the jump, the exit requires swinging down on the ice to reduce airtime and preserve as much speed as possible. But that's just the start, only the first 20 or so seconds of the map. Now it's time for the snow. This section is a perfect example of that classic phrase: easy to learn, hard to master. To survive here, you have to drift. This is the ideal spot for it. The FCV Vivace handles it like a champ, and the snow only makes it more pronounced. But there is a catch. Drifting on snow means losing speed. Even if your speedometer shows max speed, the reality is the car is going at least 20 to 30 km per hour slower. Keeping your speed here is tough. The best way to preserve momentum is by using the banked turn. Lean into it and let it help redirect your momentum without slowing down too much. Up next is one of the hardest transitions on the entire map: the uphill bobsleigh. It's all about the angle of the approach. Coming in from the left side makes the car jump too high, while the right side is no better. The car will hit the bobsleigh piece hard, with guaranteed damage. The optimal line is right in the middle, with a slight curve coming from the snow for a smooth transition. Now get ready for the most RNG heavy part of the map: the ice wall ride. Let me repeat, this is an ice wall ride. In a game with realistic physics, most of the time your best option is to hit the accelerator and pray. The exit from this wall ride is unique. In fact, it's the only transition where being in the corner is a mistake. That will just lead to a hard hit on the asphalt and a real risk of losing wheels. The correct approach is to go a bit higher and land on the curb of the asphalt. Basically, make a small jump to land smoothly. After that comes a long asphalt section with a small jump in the middle. Since cars in BeamNG don't accelerate in the air, it's usually a good idea to reduce airtime as much as possible. But be warned, the risk is high and the reward, rather small. For the final transition, minimizing swing on the ice is the goal. You can cut it down to almost nothing by coming in from the asphalt curb. This bobsleigh section is longer than the others, but it's not unique, except for the exit. The finish line is almost hidden on this map. It's somewhere near the asphalt piece. Try to stay steady and aim for as straight a jump as possible. It can save time, although not much. Let's talk about the car, the FCV Vivace. This map was practically built around it. It's fast, powerful, and comes with suspension straight out of a sci-fi movie. Transitions feel effortless. The car just floats through them like it's on rails. Even with suspension this good, precision still matters. A single wheel catching the wrong piece of terrain can ruin everything. But it has its own drawbacks, mainly in tuning. The car carries just enough fuel to keep weight low, perfect for speed, not for endurance. And the engine, it holds up just long enough. Push it for more than 5 minutes and it starts falling apart. Luckily, this map doesn't take that long. I invited 3 speedrunners with vastly different styles to try and beat each medal: bronze, silver and gold. And as a bonus, the Otter medal, set by Wolf the Philosopher. His run is linked in the description. It took nearly 8 hours to set, and it's a perfect challenge for anyone looking to push their limits. The runners were a unique trio. Blitzen, one of the old moderators, is a master of bus routes and the guy who kickstarted the J2 meta with just a single comment. Skill, known as the infamous Vivace hater, also happens to be a garage-to-garage legend. And finally, there is Scamp, a newly crowned asphalt god with thousands of hours across different racing games. The 3 of them were ready for anything. Except ice. Their first runs were something. For regular players, this unique and completely unexplored map would have been a disaster. But for speedrunners with vast knowledge of the game, it was a complete disaster.
I'm confused.
They were completely unprepared for the ice, and at first tried to approach it like asphalt, with predictable results. Wobbly cars
Land it, do some breakdancing.
and restarts in the first 15 seconds.
Oh my goodness gracious.
The small mid-bobsleigh jump was easy for everyone, only Blitzen suffered due to his approach.
Crazy.
Slow and steady was a good idea overall, but here speed is important. After a few failed attempts, he finally nailed it.
Sheesh.
Snow, on the other hand, was a problem for everyone except Blitz. His slow approach finally paid off, letting him clear the section cleanly, if not quickly. Meanwhile, the others struggled. Speed control on snow is tough, and figuring out how far and how fast the car will drift was a major issue. For quite a few attempts, both Scamp and Skill seemed more interested in learning how to fly.
Double barrel? Oh, that would have been sick.
Blitzen was first to conquer the next part, the ice wall ride. Thanks to being overall slower, he lined up almost perfectly for the transition and managed to get into the wall ride at full speed. His exit was clean too, and he managed to land smoothly and preserve momentum for the asphalt jump. Skill's transition, however, was rough. Being too far left, her car jumped and nearly destroyed its wheels. Still, her exit was manageable and she handled the asphalt jump okay, even managing to reduce airtime.
Oh, a very bad transition there.
Scamp took a slightly different line, clearing this section a bit too far to the right, which caused some damage to his car. Nothing that could have stopped him though. His exit was rough, but with a positive attitude, he kept pushing forward and cleared the asphalt jump cleanly.
I'm gonna get some airtime on this too. I'm just pushing the bumper. It's not even attached to the car.
The final section was tough for everyone, except Skill. She had watched Wolf's record beforehand and knew exactly what to expect. She was the first to properly finish the map, nailing a bronze medal with a time of 47.8 seconds, taking just 6 attempts.
47, ew.
Blitzen came in second, but his struggle was all thanks to the last bobsleigh. After the perfect run through the previous section, his entry into the final bobsleigh was off, causing him to fly off the track.
No.
Where's the finish? Do we need to jump?
Unfortunately, several more attempts ended up the same way. Too much speed and a poor approach.
I don't know how I make it through there.
Eventually, he managed his first finish with a time of 51.8 seconds. Not fast, but solid for a first clear, and it took him 11 attempts.
Oh, there's the finish. Okay. Just a small jump.
Scamp was last to finish, but his understanding of the map grew quickly. After watching Wolves run several times, he jumped straight to a silver medal finish in 16 attempts.
It's all the start. The rest of it was fine enough. I just didn't have the speed. How do you get a better start?
After that first finish, something clicked. Every runner started trying harder. Medals were on the line, and no one wanted to walk away empty-handed. On the very next run, Blitzen snatched a bronze medal with a 48.4.
Yes, got bronze.
Not bad, but he wasn't done. After a few close calls,
Nearly not silver again.
and even switching up his camera settings, he finally pulled off a clean run, clocking in at 46.3, just shy of a gold.
Yay, got silver.
Gil followed up quickly. With sharp, consistent driving, she secured a silver medal on her very next attempt, landing a time of 46.9. Scamp took a different approach. With silver already secured, he focused on replicating Wolf's other medal run, a strategy built on preserving speed and keeping the car in one piece. Slowly but surely, he started learning the perfect lines.
So I have an idea for that jump, where you go on the banking wall and come off of it right before the jump to negate the airtime. Like Trackmania. My nation's forever brain is kicking in.
The road to gold was brutal for Blitzen. He tried everything. Determined to get it without help, he spent 20 minutes grinding out attempts. But eventually, he gave in and watched Wolf's other medal run.
Let me watch the video.
From that moment on, his time started creeping down. 46.3, 0.2, 0.1,
No. At least new PB.
even a flat 0.0.
No. So close. New PP at least.
Until finally, he nailed it. 45.7, a solid gold.
This may be it. Yeah!
Blitzen consistently had a stronger start than the other runners at this point in time, with 0.7, 0.8 on checkpoint, but the snow section was his weakness. He kept bleeding time there, and on a map where every kilometer per hour matters, that was what held him back the most. This was his final run of the challenge.
I'm finished.
But what about other runners? Skill and Scamp both managed to snag the gold medal within the next few runs, with times of 45.8 and 45.3 respectively. But even though they locked in gold fairly quickly, that was just the beginning. The next several hours were brutal, full of mistakes, resets,
That's not how that's supposed to do. It's just, I keep going up and down and up. Okay. Yeah.
and painful almost runs. The other medal was now in sight, and the only way to reach it was to grind for perfect lines. The main gimmick of this map, speed, sounds simple, but the difference of just a few kilometers per hour snowballs fast. The car doesn't accelerate properly on ice, which means your speed before each section decides everything. Enter the ice just a bit faster and you'll finish the section way quicker. That's where the real wall appears. Hitting a 45.3 is hard, but doable. Every tenth after that feels twice as hard as the last. Going sub 45 demands complete focus and a deep understanding of how the car behaves on ice and snow. Both runners ended up grinding for nearly 2 hours each, chasing that one perfect attempt. Mistakes were everywhere, and Scamp especially kept going back to study Wolf's run, frame by frame, trying to understand how those perfect lines were even possible.
It's, I think, if I get a good line on the snow, like without that airtime, I carried 206 through here that one time. It's just this landing right here, I don't know how to do it.
And it worked! Eventually, he was finishing almost every attempt at a sub 45.2, and many of these were 45.0, just 1/10 away, the hardest one.
Please? It's too slow. I messed up the last bit again.
At that point, he started resetting if his first checkpoint wasn't fast enough. Anything above 11.6, back to the start. He tried everything, changing the gearbox, experimenting with shift timing, from launching in third or fourth gear to shifting the usual way. Every single thousandth of a second mattered. Eventually, he got it, the perfect run. He decided to start in third gear and quickly shifted straight into sixth. First checkpoint, clean, with 11.64 on the clock.
Okay, that's another good start. We'll try again this time.
The snow section, nearly perfect. His speed barely dropped, only slightly on the redirect.
The speed through there is really good now.
Then came a clean jump into the ice wall ride, perfectly aligned.
The speed through there is extremely good that time. Uh-oh. This could be it. 0.3.
Now only one thing mattered, the finish. Clean landing from the wall ride into the asphalt jump. No risk taken, no airtime cuts, just a stable jump with a solid setup into the final bobsleigh. And finally, the finish.
Please, please be it. Please, please, please. Okay, well. Well, that's a bit awkward. Well, I guess I have to keep going then, huh?
44.945. An impossibly good time. But what about skill? Her average pace was slower than Scamp's, but she quickly adapted, resetting on anything above 11.8 at the first checkpoint. After some suffering and intense focus, she finally nailed a very fast run. First checkpoint, 11.5.
Holy sh! 11.5?
Very clean. The snow section wasn't perfect, she dropped below 200 km per hour, but her entry into the wall ride was clean. And the exit just as smooth. She even tried to reduce airtime, with limited success.
Yo! Is that world record? Okay, so what I did is I started in fourth gear with the RPMs at about 1,000 so that I didn't get any wheel spin on my launch. And then I just shifted like normal into fifth, and that way I got a significantly faster launch.
44.904. It would have been a world record, if not for Wolf, who had grinded the map just a bit more and landed at 44.883. And just like that, speedrunners managed to beat the map. But the question stands, how far can the time be pushed? Will anyone attempt the ultimate run, or will Wolf's time remain unbeaten? If you want to test this map and your skill, feel free to download it from the description and drop it into your BeamNG mods folder. Or just wait a bit, it might show up in the official repository soon. By the way, map also allows for custom vehicles to be used. And good luck, you're gonna need it. I've got a tons of Trackmania inspired and totally insane ideas I want to build next. Pipes, plastic surfaces, even frictionless maps. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of that madness. And hey, while you're down there, hit that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts. It really helps tell the YouTube algorithm that this content is worth watching. Special thanks to Wolf, Scamp, Skill and Blitzen. Without them this video wouldn't be possible. And thank you for watching. Hope to see you in the next one.